All right, we are doing the second part of chapter 11, which is 11.2, and we are going to be talking about angle measures and composite figures. So we right now are hopefully using things we learned from chapter 9 about measuring angles to solve these problems. So it says use the properties of squares and rectangles to find angle measures. So I see that right here in this corner, this little piece is 30 degrees, and then it's asking me how much is A. Well, if you can't use a protractor to measure, a lot of us want to just use a protractor and measure to find this, you can solve this using just a math equation. If I know that this is a rectangle, then I know that all the corners of these angles are 90 degrees. So I know that this is 90 degrees, that's 90 degrees, that's 90 degrees, and that's 90 degrees. Well, if I know this whole thing is 90, and I want to find this missing piece, I know that A plus 30 is 90, and that means that 90 minus 30 is A, because I know that in the properties of a rectangular square, all the sides, all the angle measurements are 90 degrees. So I'm going to do 90 degrees minus this 30, and I get 70 degrees. So then I lied. 6, I can't subtract. I got 60 degrees, so I know that angle A is 60 degrees. So I want you guys to try these two right now using what you know about squares and rectangles and angles, and then press play. All right, again, I see that this piece is 45, and I know that this piece, that's what I'm trying to find, but I know that this is a square. So I see that all of these sides are 90 degrees. So that means that this whole thing together equals 90. So I'm thinking, well, 45 plus what gets me to 90? I can just do 90 degrees, which is the whole thing, minus the 45, and I get 45, which means that this side is 45, because 45 plus 45 is 90. Over here, I see a rectangle, but again, doesn't matter. I know that all are 90-degree angles, so I know that this whole thing is 90 degrees. So I'm going to take my 90 degrees, get rid of the 65 that I have to see what's left, and then I get 25 degrees, and I know that 65 plus 25 is 90 degrees. All right, these two right here, press pause, solve them, and then press play. Again, these are squares and rectangles, so I know that all my angle measurements are 90 degrees. So I know that C plus 52 gets me to 90. So I'm just going to do 90 minus what I have, which is 52, to get C. And I know that's 38, and I got 38 degrees. Same thing over here, measure of D. I know all this corner is 90 degrees, so I know that I could do 90, get rid of the 40 that I have, and I get 50 degrees, and I know that D is 50 degrees. All right, last two, I want you guys to press pause, see if you can solve these, and then press play. All right, it says ABCD is a square. ABCD is a square. Find the measure of A. All right, well, again, if this is a square, then all of these are 90 degrees. So then I know that if I'm looking, if this is 28 and this is 45, I know that these three together get me 90. So I'm just going to get rid of the two I have and then see what's left. So I'm going to do 90, and I can take away the 28. And I have 62 left, but then I got to get rid of this 45 that I also have. 62 minus, I'm going to rewrite it over here, 62 minus 45. And I get 17. So I know that A is 17 degrees. I could check this by thinking, well, is 28 plus 17 plus 45 get me to 90? And then I know that 8 plus 7 is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it does. Now down here is a little tricky. There's a lot going on. But again, you already know the properties of a rectangle. It says PQRS is a rectangle. The measure of PQS is 32. Look, PQS. And then look right here on my vertices, I have 32 degrees. And then it says, and the measure of SPX, so then right here, S to P to X, this angle is 48 degrees. Find the measure of A, B, and C. Okay, so I'm trying to find A, B, and C. I'm going to start with A, which is right here. Uh-oh, there's nothing there. Well, guys, guess what? It's a rectangle. This is just 90 degrees. A is 90 degrees because I know that all parts of a rectangle are 90 degrees. All the corners are the vertices of a rectangle. B is right here. I want to find B. Again, this is 90, this is 90, this is 90, this is 90. I'm just going to do 90. get rid of that 32 to see what's left. And I get 58. So I know that B is 58 degrees. And then the last one is P. It says C. I see that one part of it's 48. I know the whole thing's 90. I'm going to get rid of this 48. And I get 42. So C is 42 degrees. All right, now we're going to move to a little bit. We're going to add another level of challenge to this. And we are going to talk about these things, which when we first look at, we're kind of like, oh, that seems like a lot. These are just called composite figures, and it goes back to the beginning. Remember when I asked you to take these weird shapes and split it, and I see I have a rectangle and another rectangle. So all we're doing is applying everything we know about rectangles and squares to a little bit more complicated figures. So it says figure A, B, C, D, E, F is made up of two rectangles. A, B, C, D, E, F is two rectangles. So look, they already drew the line. So I know that's rectangle 1 and that's rectangle 2. It says find BC. Sometimes if I have a highlighter, I like to highlight. I'm going to find this, and I put the question mark there. Okay, so what you have to do is think about what do you know about rectangles and squares. So I start and I think, okay, if I split this right here, and I look at what's on the board, what do I have, what do I need? If this side, DE, right here, is 6, and this is a rectangle, well, I know rectangle opposite sides are equal, so I know this right here is 6. So then I'm going to look up and be like, okay, well, I need to know this. If I need to know this question mark, if I can find that side, I can figure it out. Well, just because this is 6 doesn't mean this is 6, because 6 plus 6 is 12, and this whole thing is 10. Well, if the whole thing's 10, 6 plus what gets you to 10? Well, I know that 10 minus 6 is 4. So I know that if this is 6, then this is 4, because 6 plus 4 gets me that 10. And if this side's 4, over here, this side's 4, so then I know that BC is 4 yards. We're going to try some now. I want you to pause it, see if you can figure this one out. Read it and see what you can come up with. It says figure GHIJKL is made up of a square and a rectangle. So look, they give me the dotted line. So I'm just going to look. Well, common sense tells me that this must be the square and this must be the rectangle. I know squares, all the sides are the same. And I know rectangles, opposite sides are the same. So they want me to find IJ, which is this one right here. So I have to stop and I have to think about what I already know or don't know. So I'm trying to find this. I'm going to start with the square because that's easy. Because if this side's 5, then this is 5, this is 5, and this is 5. Okay? Now, I'm to figure out, I don't want this part right here. So I'm looking, well, I see this whole thing down here is 12, but I don't want the whole thing. I only want this piece. So I kind of look. If this whole side is 12, then this whole side is 12. I have 5 of my 12. Well, I have to think, 5 plus what gets me to 12? Well, I know that 12, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 plus 7 gets me to 12. So then look at, I see right here that that is 7 inches. All right, let's try. You guys pause. You guys try. Press play when you're done. It says find the length of the unknown side. So again, seems confusing. I'm going to stop. I see I can divide this composite figure into a rectangle and I think another rectangle right here. And it says this is my unknown side because this is what has the question mark. So I stop and I think about what I know. So I'm going to freeze right here. If this is 18, then this is 18 because they're opposite sides, right? All right, cool. Now I'm going to see what else do I know. Okay, I see this big 30. If this whole thing is 30, then this whole thing is 30. Oh, look, I know that that part's 18. I need to think 18 plus what gets me to 30. So I'm going to take my 30. I'm going to subtract my 18, and I got 12. So then look, I know that this is 12, and that's 18, because 12 plus 18 is 30. And they're asking me for this right here, what is F to E? And I figured that F to E is 12 centimeters. All right, we're going to try another one. This one says RS. So right now you're going to pause and you are finding RS and press play when you're ready. All right, I'm going to divide this up into my composite figure into my rectangle. So I see 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, oh boy. So I'm going to start and I'm going to stop and I'm going to think. I'm going to do what I have and then try to figure out the unknowns. I see that this is 4. So then that tells me that that's 4. All right. I see this is 5. So then that tells me that this is 5. Okay. And then the only other number I have here is this 15. But look, I noticed that my whole thing is 15. I know that 4 and 5 are parts of it, and I need to figure out this piece right here. Well, I have 4 plus 5 is 9, so I've got 9 of my 15. If I get rid of these, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I see that I have 6 left over, and 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 5 is 15. So then look, if this piece is 6, then this opposite side is 6, because I know that opposite sides are equal. So then I know that RS equals 6 inches. All right, another one. This one, you're going to find DE, which is this. So press pause, see what you can do, use what you know about squares and rectangles to solve these problems. All right, let's see. I'm going to divide. Again, I'm taking this up, rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. Okay, I'm thinking about what I know. Okay, I see that this is 8. I'm going to use a different color. This is 8, so then I know that that's 8. All right, okay, well, I'm close, because I just want to know this thing up here right now. So let's think. I'm going to move. Actually, you know what I could do? I see this whole thing is 15. So then that tells me that this whole thing is 15. Okay, which means that I see, if I were to divide it right here as well, if this is 8, then this is 8. And then look, do you guys see this weird 3 right here? That doesn't exist over here, but I know that is 3. So if I were to think about this, I can figure out EF, because if this is 3, what did I say? I could even divide this up right here. I know that little piece is 3, and we said this is 8 and that is 8. And then look, I know that I have 8, 9, 10, I have 11, and I'm just missing that piece. And then look, if I move it over and I eyeball this 15 has to be this 15. Well, let's see. If I take 15 and I get rid of the 8 and I get rid of the 3, I know that 8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10 is 11, and I know 15 minus 11 is 4. So then I'm going to put my 4 right here, and I think that DE is 4 feet. I'm going to just check this one, because this one's a little tricky. So again, oh boy, I'm throwing things. I'm seeing that this is 8, then I know this is 8, which means this is 8. And I see this is 3, which means that's 3. And then I think that this is 4, so that's 4. So let's see, 15, and then these should be 15. 8 plus 4 is 12, 13, 14, 15. It does work out. So DE is 4. These are getting a little bit harder. Again, go ahead, and I notice one thing, UT. Where's UT? Oh, right here. That's what we're finding. I do notice these are little tick marks. So that means that, like, if they're all, these are the same with the tick marks. So press pause and then press play when you're ready. Oops. All right, let's check this. So I'm going to start with what I know. I see the tick marks. I automatically am going to this. If this is 4, then that's 4, that's 4, that's 4. Okay, so I see that those are the same. And now, oh, I'm looking. And look, I need to figure out this piece right here. I'm going to take this 4. If that's 4, then that's 4, because opposite sides are equal. If that's 4, then that's 4. Okay, now I'm going to stop. I also have this 27. This whole thing's 27, then the opposite side is 27. I don't want the whole 27, though. I want to get rid of those right there. So if I have 4 plus 4 is 8, if I have 27 and I want to get rid of my 8, I know 17 minus 8 is 9, so I get 19. So then that must mean that UT equals 19 yards. All right, oh boy. Press pause. Don't freak out. Look at what you know. Look at the tick marks. I see these all have 1 tick, and so anything with 1 tick is the same, and anything with 2 ticks is the same. You'll also notice that they stopped with they showed us here where to divide it, whereas they don't show us here where to divide it. So you're going to have to start doing that yourself. So if it were me, maybe you're going to divide it like 1 there and 1 there, and then you have a square right here and a rectangle, rectangle. But we're trying to find AH and HG. Okay, so you press pause, see if you can figure it out, and then we're going to check in. So let's think. If this is 2, then that's 2, and that's 2, and that's 2, because that's a square. And then, oh, I see a tick mark right here, so that's 2. So then I also see a double tick mark right here. And if that's 4, then the other double tick mark is 4. And again, now I'm looking for my opposite sides. If this is 4, then this is 4. Okay? So let's think. I want to bring this part down. So I'm going to erase some of this right here just for right now because I want to see it. And I'm going to split this right here. This is 4, but then look, where I drew my little thing to make a square, I'm cutting that in half. If I'm cutting 4 in half, then this must be 2 and this would be 2 to make my 4. So I can look right here. This line is the same as that line. And if I have a 4 and I have a 2, 4 plus 2 together is 6. So I think that HG is 6 yards. Now I'm going to come back and I need to find AH, which is a vertical line, which is right here. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to see what I have. I see this line goes there and it has 1 tick mark, so that's a 2 and that's a 2. I see that this line is right here, which would be right here, which would be right here, is a 2. And then I see this line, which is right here, which goes there, which goes there, is a 2, and I could drag that over. And then look, 2, 4, 6. I have that is 6 yards. So they're both 6 yards. All right, last one. This one's a really big one. You're going to press pause. I want to see what you can do. Can you figure out AX and can you figure out AN? So AX is this really big one up here. And AN is this one over here. And then you're going to press play to check it. All right, so let's see. I'm going to figure out what I know versus what I don't know. And I'm going to divide up this figure right now. So I'm going to draw a line right here. And I'm going to make this one a rectangle right here. So I know opposite sides are equal. So if this side's 4, then that side has to be 4. Okay? So I know that. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to break some of these up. I'm seeing lots of tick marks over here. I'm going to divide that there. And then I know that if that's 2, then this is 2 as well. And then I'm going to, I can divide it right here, I guess. And then let's see. If this is 2, and this side's 2, then this side's 2. But that tells me that this whole side's 4. So that means that this whole side is 4. And I can drag this up, which means that right there is 4. So now I kind of just have to figure out this piece right here. So again, I'm seeing that this has tick marks. So this is 2, this is 2, this is 2, this is 2. If this one's 2, and I bring this up, and that one's 2, then 2 plus 2 is 4. So now I have that whole line, 4 plus 4 plus 4. I know that AX is 16 along that whole side. And now I'm going to try to find, I'm going to erase some of this just so we can see. Now I'm going to try to find AN, which is a vertical line. So again, I'm dividing this right here. Okay? And I'm trying to find this. If I can find this, then I can find the other one. Again, I see this tick mark, super helpful because I know the tick marks equal 2. So if that's 2, then that means that I can bring it over to the opposite side, and that part's 2. So now I need to figure out this piece right here. So again, look at, I'm noticing these tick marks. This one's 2, I can bring it over, so then that's 2 right there. Okay, so there's one, there's another. And then look, this is 2, I can bring this over, that's 2. This one's 2, I can bring that one over, that's 2, because I know opposite sides are equal. And then look, I have that whole side, 2, 4, 6, 8. I know that AN equals 8. All right, so we are going to continue practicing these composite figures. What I need you to remember is that you need to break apart the composite figure into squares and rectangles and use what you know about squares and rectangles to find the unknown sides. All right, bye guys.